Hello and welcome South Orange County. I'm your host Suraj Pakdel for OC Spotlight on Channel 39. On tonight's showcase, we have a very special guest live in our studio. It's Ellie Bagheri, a local artist and designer currently helping a Christian ministry. Thank you for joining us, Ellie.
Thank you for having me, Suraj.
Tell us about yourself. What are your top 3 interests?
Well, a little bit about myself. I was pretty much raised in Southern California. Top 3 interests. I love art and writing. Any form of creative expression is just amazing to me. And I also love teaching. It's one of my biggest passions.
Wow.
Yeah.
What have you written? Really good. One of your really perfect projects.
Well, the thing that I finished most recently was a translation of a book that my pastor wrote. It's called Christianity Under Persecution. It's actually it was an intense project for me, but I was really proud of it when it was done.
Wow. What is your church's ministry you guys doing right now?
Well, the ministry that we're currently undertaking right now is called Discipleship for Iran, and it's something that we started just about 2 years ago.
Oh, how did it start? From who?
Well, it started from my pastor and our worship leader at the time, Nathan Rostampour, and they came together just with this vision to really reach the Muslim population and specifically show them the love of Christ. And it was something that they imparted to the rest of the church, and we're working on it right now.
Nice. You talked about Muslim and all that. Were you an ex-Muslim?
Yes, actually. Well, I was raised in a Muslim home, and with a Muslim background, my family would more specifically be nominally Muslim, but it was definitely something that I was raised in, that culture. In Islam, if you have Muslim parents, then you're automatically considered Muslim. So that was something that I was raised in, but changed later on. Nice.
Wow. So you changed your religion, right?
Yes, when I was about 14, through just a lot of personal circumstances and things going on with myself and my family, I was in a place where I was definitely seeking, and I was in search of what was really the truth. And during that time, I would say, I didn't say that I necessarily found Jesus. He really found me, in a sense, and that's when I decided to put my trust in him and follow him, believe in Jesus Christ.
Wow, I really believe you're doing an amazing thing. You talked about discipleship for Iran, and why is it so important to you?
It's really important to us because this ministry focuses on reaching Muslims, right? It's a people group that has unfortunately, so much negative stigma attached to them. And what we really want to do is just break down any of those barriers, any cultural barriers, any social barriers that might stop the West or necessarily the church from reaching out to them, showing them love, building relationships with them.
Wow, that's really amazing. That's really perfect. And thank you for answering, Ellie. I really appreciate it. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break with some more good questions. So stay tuned and we'll be right back.
Saddleback College enriches its students and the South Orange County community by providing a comprehensive array of high-quality courses and programs. We foster student learning and success in the attainment of academic degrees and career technical certificates, transfer to 4-year institutions, and improvement of basic skills. We dedicate ourselves to excellence in academics, student support, and community service. We hope Saddleback College will be your first choice.
And we're back. Thanks for staying tuned through the break. I'm Suraj Pakdel and this is Ellie Bagheri. Now tell me, I got so much interested into this that I was going to ask you, why do you think it attracted so many people?
Well, as I was saying earlier, this ministry is really special in that not only does it reach Muslims specifically, but it also reaches those Muslims in other countries that are refugees currently. So right now, there's a giant refugee crisis going on all over the world in different countries, specifically with Muslim countries, yes. And so when these refugees go to these other countries, when they try to take refuge in places such as Serbia, what we do is we want to meet them there, and we want to, in a sense, help them through this time of being a refugee, this time of trying to make that transition to start a new life in a different country. And through that, we show them the love of Christ. And so it combines the ministry aspect along with this humanitarian effort. And it really just meets their spiritual needs and their physical needs, which is really important.
Wow, that's really important. Now, I was thinking about, while you were talking about it, I was thinking, how can I help this? What are the ways that we can fund and donate to this ministry?
Well, ways that you can help, obviously, for those in the church, we would really encourage that you pray for this ministry, because that's something we believe is essential to the success of it. But also, if anyone has a heart to donate financially, they can do so through our website. It's discipleshipforiran.com, and it's pretty easy there if anyone would like to really partner with us, because it is a partnership.
Yes, that's right. So I will be praying. We will be all praying for this.
Thank you.
And one last question that I have. So, is there anything? So you guys probably working on something. Is there any events or conferences going on in the future?
Yes, actually, in exactly 1 month, we have a refugee conference. It's really an evangelical conference that's going on in Serbia. So as I was saying, we do have a ministry right now among the refugees in different countries. Serbia is the main country that we're working in right now. Yes, because right now there are tens of thousands of specifically Iranian and Afghan refugees there.
Wow, that's really good.
Yeah,
that's really
and so
good.
through this, we're going to hold a conference there for them and feed and help them in their situation, and also give them the gospel.
Perfect. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. I'm Suresh Patel, and this is OC Spotlight.
Welcome, South Orange County. I'm your host, Sarah Stevens, for OC Spotlight on Channel 39. Of all the treasures of Orange County and California, there is none more well known than Laguna Beach. It's a town full of artsy, creative people who speak their minds. Michelle Monda is considered one of those people. Thank you for joining me, Michelle.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Now, you write for the Laguna Beach Independent. What are you working on now?
Right now, or actually my last column, which is more relevant to what we were talking about today, it was about the downtown specific plan and how there is a group of developers who are trying to push their projects through and basically change the look and feel of Laguna Beach, the one that everyone moved to Laguna for. So it's a big threat to the very soul of Laguna.
Yes, and in your article you mentioned something called the overlay zone. What is that?
An overlay zone is basically it's called a corporate development agreement, and that is an agreement between the developer and the city that supersedes the other sort of regulations that they have to follow if they can prove that they have a public benefit, such as additional parking, art, public beach access, things like that, that they will give in exchange for let's say a height variance or a setback variance. So it's vitally important that when the city negotiates this development agreement, that they have the residents' primary concern and not the developer's concern.
Michelle, how is this not corruption? It just seems so bizarre to me.
Well, it sort of is, and in our view, it's pretty much a license to do what you want to do. Now they keep saying, no, we still have to go through zoning, we still have to go through design review. Yes, but if you have negotiated a variance that is more beneficial to you than something the public is going to get, and that's what we're worried about, that the public is going to somehow lose out in this development agreement.
Yeah, and are there any developers using this option right now?
Glad you asked. Right now there's a developer named Mo Honecker who has not one, not two, but 3 hotels under development and consideration. And he's going to be looking to develop all of his projects through a corporate development agreement, which means we all better be very careful about what's going on, or we're going to be giving away a lot for these developments.
Right, and then Laguna Beach has a village feel. This isn't going to go along with the village feel, correct?
Well, part of our, and by our, I am part of a coalition of all different groups, and it's not just Village Laguna, it's across every political spectrum. It's the homeowners associations. We have a very large coalition, and we're all very unhappy about building a wall, and that's in one of the designs, the bottom one there, is what he has, a wall.
Well, I'd like to talk about this more. We have to go to a commercial break. So when we return, we'll discuss what residents want and what City Council is doing about it. I want to also bring up this coalition that you had just mentioned. So we're going to take a commercial break and then we'll be right back. So thank you.
Saddleback College enriches its students and the South Orange County community by providing a comprehensive array of high-quality courses and programs. We foster student learning and success in the attainment of academic degrees and career technical certificates, transfer to four-year institutions, and improvement of basic skills. We dedicate ourselves to excellence in academics, student support, and community service. We hope Saddleback College will be your first choice.
We're back. I'm Sarah Stevens, and I'm here with Michelle Monda, and we're talking about some local issues in Laguna Beach. We ended up talking about the village feel that we have right now in Laguna Beach. And there's some developers who want to change that, correct?
Yes. They're all for combining lots, adding another foot of height, and getting rid of parking requirements, which will then change basically Laguna into a food court.
They're going to get rid of parking?
Parking requirements.
Oh my
right now they're very stringent, so it's harder. Yeah, but they want to make it 3 per 1,000 square feet, as opposed to 10 per 1,000 square feet of a restaurant, or 4 for retail. So it'll be a lot easier for restaurants to come in, and then we just become a restaurant destination.
Oh, wow, I'm stunned by that, because right now it's so difficult to have
to
parking.
find parking as it is. Yes, exactly.
Wow. So how does City Council convince that this is good for residents?
They seem to be in the back pockets of developers at the moment. They are very friendly to developing. And I want to make it clear that I'm part of a coalition that just formed called Laguna Residents First. And it's a group from all different, the whole spectrums, as I said before. We are not against development, but what we are against is development that is not in keeping with the Laguna feel that is the reason people come to Laguna. They don't come to Laguna to sit in a Newport Beach restaurant. They come to Laguna because of the charm of the smaller scale, the interesting buildings. Each block has buildings that's a mosaic of buildings from different eras.
Right.
And we don't want a one block of and that's what he's trying to develop right now up in called the Museum Hotel across from the Laguna Art Museum, an entire block with a whole wall that's one giant wall. And that's what we're against. Not development. We're for development.
So, Michelle, are you worried about the future of Laguna Beach?
Very much so, because right now they have 3 votes. And we're very concerned that City Council, with 3 votes, can do whatever they want. And the downtown specific plan is up for discussion right now. So, yes, we need to be very vigilant, and we need to make sure that residents are listened to. And right now, that's not happening.
So, real quick, do you think the City Council's going crazy?
Of course, City Council's gone crazy, led by, you know, their crazy in chief.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, we have to go, but thank you for watching OC Spotlight on Channel 39.
Hello everyone, and thanks for joining us here on OC Spotlight. I'm your host, Andrew Coca, and today I'm joined by longtime Laker fan, Richard Cardenas. Thank you for joining us, Richard.
Thank you for having me.
Now, let's go ahead and go straight into this. There's quite a bit to talk about, seeing as last season was pretty topical with trades and whatnot, especially with the Lakers. So first off, how far do you see the Lakers going this season?
I believe they'll make it to the Western Conference Finals with a chance of going to the finals if the only team they have to beat is the Clippers.
Gotcha. And is there any particular players that the Lakers got over this offseason that you see as contributors?
Anthony Davis was the biggest pickup that a team could have. I mean, you have a guy who shoot and can defend.
I see. LeBron's still on the team. He was talked about quite a bit last season for his effort and performance. Sports analysts and fans alike on both sides saying that his work ethic just wasn't there. He was like slacking off on defense, getting back, sometimes just criticizing his teammates.
Yeah.
With that said, where do you stand on that discussion, and do you see him contributing the same effort this season as last season?
So the thing is, I mean, everyone considers LeBron James as the best NBA player there is. And to me, his whole career, he's never played defense. So I feel like that's just something he has to work on. I feel like he will work on now with the head coach and Vogel being a defensive coach. But other than that, he could shoot, he could drive the lane. I mean, the guy he's big, he's unstoppable.
For sure.
When it comes down to it.
Yeah, that's very well said. Good points. Let's talk about the teams that could be problems for the Lakers. Who would you say are some that might give them trouble?
So it would be the Rockets and the Clippers.
Rockets and Clippers.
I mean, they picked up just as big as stars, if without.
Definitely. Rockets with Westbrook now, and the Clippers with Kawhi.
Definitely.
Do you see any other team that maybe might give them trouble as well?
If in the Western Conference, no.
No.
If you're talking about Eastern Conference, I mean, the best team coming out there would be the Brooklyn Nets.
Brooklyn Nets, okay, because of Kevin Durant.
Correct.
Let's go ahead and get back to the contributing factors to the Lakers. Dwight Howard and DeMarcus were 2 other big pickups for the team. Do you see them contributing big for the team this year?
So since Cousins is injured and will be out until the playoffs, when it comes to that time, if they do make it, he will contribute the best he can. I mean, he's still a big guy. He gets down there. He could shoot the 3 ball. I mean, we found that out last year, surprisingly.
Definitely.
And then Howard, I mean, the guy looks good. I mean, he's slimmed down and he's got muscle, so who knows what he could bring to the team. I mean, they're both backups to Anthony Davis. You don't want to overwork him.
For sure.
So I think it'll play out well.
Okay. Do you see them contributing as much as they did as their previous teams?
No. Cousins was way better back then. I mean, that's any given. He was averaging 30, 20. Howard, there's a possibility he could be better.
All right, for sure. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll discuss the Melo situation and the other trades made around the NBA.
Saddleback College enriches its students and the South Orange County community by providing a comprehensive array of high-quality courses and programs. We foster student learning and success in the attainment of academic degrees and career technical certificates, transfer to four-year institutions, and improvement of basic skills. We hope Saddleback College will be your first choice if you seek a dynamic, innovative, and student-centered post-secondary education.
Welcome back to OC Spotlight, where we've been discussing the Los Angeles Lakers and their predicted success this season. But I think it's time to switch to one of the other top stories of the NBA, Carmelo Anthony. Now, Richard, let me ask you, does Carmelo still have a place in the NBA?
He does not have a place in the NBA.
Okay.
Carmelo Anthony needs to retire. He's had his time, he's had his fun, and there's no place, there's no team for him.
But don't you think that there's at least one team out there that could actually use his help, like the Knicks, which finished with the worst record last season? Don't you think that there would be anything to gain from
I mean,
them?
if they're looking to not finish in last, sure. But I mean, what he will contribute, I don't know. I mean, the guy just throws up bricks, and when you're shooting 30% from the field, I mean, what good are you? You don't defend. Your best chance is shooting, and you can't even do that well. So I just don't see it happening.
Yeah.
It sucks to say, though.
Yeah, for sure. What about the Rockets this season? Where do you see them placing in the playoffs, or just on their way to the finals?
They have a chance of going to the finals also. If those two, Westbrook and Harden, can work together, they have a chance to be unstoppable. I mean, like I said, they're two very good players. If they just focus on the team effort, then things obviously will work. If they stop trying to pass stat pad and all that fun stuff, then it'll work out. But if they just want MVP, then that's not going to happen.
Yeah, well said. And what about the chances for the Nets with Kevin Durant and Kyrie on the team now? How far into the playoffs?
I believe they'll make it to the Eastern Conference with Kevin Durant out. With Kevin Durant back in, they're making it to the finals. Okay. You have a big three over there. I mean, you have Durant, Kyrie, and Jordan.
Yes.
And they're basically like the Warriors without Clay and all those other stars.
Yeah.
And Curry,
definitely.
but they have a chance.
Okay. And you said all the way to the finals. So who do you have for the two teams in the finals when it's all said and done, besides the Lakers, of course?
I would have the Clippers and I would have the Nets.
Clippers and Nets.
Correct.
All right. Awesome. Well, I think that's all the time we have for now. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thanks again, Richard, for joining me today for the show. From OC Spotlight and the crew, this has been Andrew Coca. Thanks so much again for watching. We talked about quite a bit today. Have an awesome rest of your day and take care. Bye-bye.
Hello and welcome South Orange County. I'm your host Brian Millar for OC Spotlight on Channel 39. On tonight's showcase, we have a very special guest live in our studio. It's Mikhail Alfon, an entrepreneur behind the rapidly growing market agency Blue Light Media. Thank you for joining us, Mikhail.
Thanks so much for having me, Brian.
Thank you for coming. What is Blue Light Media?
So Blue Light Media is a digital marketing and advertising agency based in Costa Mesa, California.
So what made you want to start Blue Light Media?
I used to work at a company that also did digital marketing. It was a different type of digital marketing though, and they weren't really providing great service to their clients, and so many of the clients were actually upset, and they felt like they weren't doing anything for them, right? So I decided that I wanted to start a business that could actually provide some tangible services for small businesses. And so I thought social media marketing, where this company started, was a good idea because, you know, we could take photos, post it to Instagram and Facebook, and at the very least, I could show the clients that, you know, there is work being done for them.
So when I was doing my research on your company and just looking at it, it seems like you guys love what you do and you love your job. How many people are on your team?
We have 7 people on the team right now, and I hope all of us love our jobs, but I definitely love what I do.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And did anyone inspire you to do this?
You know, it was really that company that I worked at that inspired me in kind of a weird way, right? So, man, I just remember being on the phones and having one of the customers call in and telling me, like, Mikhail, do you know that the company that you work for is stealing money from small business owners, and for some of us, it's the last $1,500 we have. And I went outside, sat in the back of my dad's car, and literally cried because I couldn't believe that I was working for a company that was hurting so many people.
Wow.
So that was the biggest inspiration behind it.
When did that idea come about?
2014, actually. So I was 27 years old. It's been 5 years, and we're growing. Pumped.
Pumped. And like, what do you see? What direction do you see the company going in the future?
Yeah, you know, I know that we're actually going to be going into a space where we're educating other marketers, because I think there's a lot of noise that goes on in the digital marketing space. So we're actually starting what's called the Academy, where we're going to run through each one of our services and how we do it in the house of Blue Light Media, and teach, you know, marketing directors, solopreneurs, like whoever it is, exactly what we do so that they're empowered to do it for their businesses.
And do you guys do everything in-house, or do you guys hire other people to do stuff for you?
So I'd say like 95% of the work is done in-house. If we're working on a bigger project, then we have what I like to call the Blue Light extended family, and we'll bring them in and they'll help us with video if we need a second camera, some web developers if it's a project that we don't handle, that type of thing.
And do you have like someone who runs your social media?
Like my personal social media?
No, for Blue Light.
Oh, for Blue Light, you know, the team gets at it every so often. I would say Carly probably does most of it, but Nelson's definitely designing how it looks.
Okay,
Yeah.
That's cool. Thank you for your answers, Mikhail. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break. Stay with us for more questions. Stay tuned. Thank you. And we're back. Thanks for staying tuned through that break. I'm Brian Millara, and once again, this is Mikhail Alfon. Thank you for being on the show today.
Thanks for having me, Brian.
Sweet. So as we were talking about, what is the Tuesday Show?
The Tuesday Show is actually a video and audio podcast that we put out on social media, which educates business owners with exactly what we're doing: influencer marketing, social media marketing, strategy, whatever the case may be.
Do you guys have any guests that go on the Tuesday Show, or is it just you guys?
You know, we used to have guests, right? And we'd like audit their brands or see what they were doing within their businesses. As of right now, we don't have any guests.
Where could people find the Tuesday Show at?
Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, wherever it might be. Yeah.
Okay.
Anywhere on the internet.
Okay, sweet. So you guys have a lot of your products on the internet. And
The products, no. It's more of the strategy and the services that we provide, and what our insights are is the primary focal point of the content.
so you said you had a team of 7 people. Do you see that growing in the future? And if so, where do you see the company going in the future as
Yeah,
well?
absolutely. I definitely see the team growing. We definitely have a solid team right now, but I see us adding a lot more people in. I see us, investing in products and maybe even launching our own, in addition to what we're doing with the academy. And we're also developing a software right now, or a web application rather. And I think that we're going to have to build teams around both of those things.
When will we see those things coming in the future?
The academy is going to be live in December, and the web application, we're doing beta testing right now, and we're hoping that's going to be ready in December too, so that 2020 we hit the ground running.
Okay. So what are the goals for this year and probably in a few years?
The number one goal is to just provide an environment where my team members feel like they're valued and they are able to be the best versions of themselves. And in the next 5 years, I want them to be able to provide for their families, save for the future, the whole thing. I really want them to stay with me forever.
Forever.
Yeah.
So what does blue light mean to you?
Man, blue light, like, you have the heart right here. It's legitimately my heartbeat. It's my entire life. It's what I feel like gives me purpose, and it's what wakes me up in the morning and excites me. So it's everything.
And how did the idea come about?
Again, it was kind of just, it was wanting to provide a great service for people that they could rely on.
Thank you for joining us today.